this and, of course, get chances for prizes. I don't see that as a loss to me, so make sure to get in on it yourself.
Yeah, definitely want to be having some free prizes, which talks about our giveaway that we're having right now. All of it's in the chat. And if you have only just joined, think, oh, free giveaway and I can run away. Guys. 50 free entries for the secret code word. And if you've been here since the first map, you've already got 3 of them. You've already got 150 additional entries. There's still another 3 to go. So keep listening and keep an ear out, as this plane drop, I'd say a little bit to the west, very central, opens up a lot of areas. Of course, Terminal. Terminal is 100% going to be hit. So yeah, should be an interesting drop indeed.
Absolutely. It's always interesting to see. And, well, the previous winners in the Ox, let's see what their first moves are going to be. Of course, like always, it's PUBG tradition. Get yourself a bit of a move on with the vehicle. Get yourself easy and fast rotations. And in the meanwhile, also prepare for the late game as much as you can, right? Of course, that's going to be coming along the way once you kill enemies, loot more places and areas, and of course, the dead corpses of your fallen victims. But in the Ox right now, everyone's taking it slow. I'm imagining that this is going to be a bit more also of a slow-paced map compared to how Rondo quickly kicked us off within the first 5 minutes.
It shouldn't have been that fast for Rondo. It should have. It should have been a lot slower. But Tiego, again, can be one of those slower maps as well, similar size to Myanmar and Arangel. That's definitely going to change things up for sure. But the big question is this zone. Where are we looking? Where are we positioned? Because if I know my maps well, which is a bit about hit and miss, looking east, possibly.
Just possibly. A bit of a chance. Right now, I have to see. I mean, we've been on in the Ox for quite a while. It seems like the team is taking a lot of this east side. And currently, I'm just wondering, when are they going to regather? What's going to be their first directive? Are they going to look to take out a team as early? Or will they be playing to a similar narrative of going a bit more slow and careful?
Well, for those who don't play a lot of PUBG or play competitively, having your what I'd like to call the lurker, the guy who likes to go around and essentially solo the situation, they are entrusted to do this. They know that they can stand up, win those 1v1 fights if they come across it. But 9 times out of 10, they're also not going to over-aggress. They're not going to take too much of a risk if there is any danger. But I am right in this being east. It is all south. We're not playing any 50-50 games. I would say it's a pretty normal zone. For once.
For once. According, at least, switching it up from the previous times we've had it. And also, everything is going to be a bit more ground-focused. You know, we've seen some zones focus around rivers. We've seen them be all sorts. But now, it's back to how it should be. Ground alone, coverage, and of course, as much of it as it is open.
Yeah, we've seen a couple of emergency pickups are going to be going through as well. The rotation starts to flow through with 1:30 left. Hospital, it reminds me actually, one of my previous casters was begging for a hospital zone. I'm telling you now, Bob, if we get a hospital zone, I am going to take a selfie with this and send it to him just to annoy him. But to be honest, he is right. We have not had that many hospital zones.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it would be interesting to see. Let's bring in some nuance. Who doesn't like nuance? Having the same old is always boring, so we'll hopefully see it be a bit different this time around. But currently, let's take a look at Full Rush here, who are definitely just cowering around, like I said, taking the long trip about it and maybe trying to find a good position to rest at for a while.
Could be. I've already poked him. If you know Barton, For those for the North American side, then they all know that he has talked about this time and time again. But back to the game itself, full rush. They got rushed out of this last game, the last map, very, very quickly, and it definitely was not a map they want to remember. It wasn't like they were doing anything wrong. They were just caught at the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah. Absolutely. You're ready? Right on the very edge of the zone. Having a very nice look around. Popping sodas. Just having a complete, listen, like a Fast and Furious. They're just on a road trip.
It usually is. The rotation side of things, it is very, very, very slow. But from your, I asked this question from the first map. I'm gonna ask the question from this map. What's your hot drop here?
I did say I don't really like getting to shootouts, so I'll go top left, probably Wolsong. I most of the time just go to the corners of the map. I'm absolutely terrified of going gunfights. I like looting up, being comfortable, and then maybe trying to go for long range. But up close, you do not catch me alive.
Definitely don't catch anybody alive. And then talking of not being alive at all is possibly the damage that is coming through as we start to see a few players get to drop down as one of the members of Full Rush as well. Getting flushed out. This is not what you want to see off the start of this map.
Nope, absolutely not. Hisense have seemed to spot out one of the teams here, and it's going to be We Are Ready, but it's such a distance that they'd rather not take their chances. Possibly a waste of bullets here, although we do have a couple of minutes here already passing us by. All teams are, like we said, getting settled in and ready for anyone to try and approach, but like we said, it's going to take some time here for action to actually kick off.
Yeah, it's going to take some time indeed, but phase is about to come to an end. Not really much happening, and a few players dropped down. Oh, Stay actually disconnected. He did not get killed.
Ooh.
That's not good. That's not good at all, and that's just going to hurt them a little bit more, knowing that that extra player that could have helped you no longer exists.
Gone. Eradicated. It's unfortunate, but what can you do about it? Hopefully they're going to be able to just maybe find that to be a boost of confidence, that they try to find this three-man victory, which is very unlikely, but again, chances aren't zero, and that's what matters most here for it. Now, in the meanwhile, Dragon Kiss, also a team that has been showing a lot of patience. I feel like these players really know when to sit down, wait for the enemies, and strike at the right moments. Just been quite unlucky with who they've been coming across.
Yeah, I'm talking about being lucky. Eagles have Laurent getting a good plethora of information onto our current leaders. It's 55 Esports inside that compound, but of course, right now, the Eagles do not know who it is until that first drop, until someone gets knocked between them. At that point, will they know who they are. But nonetheless, they wait patiently, and I do love that Laurent isn't aggressing too far. He's just trying to get that a plethora of information without over-aggressing.
Falcon, earlier, almost dropped one of the most shell-shocking performances, and even one of the greatest potential comebacks, which sadly didn't come to fruition, although was just about as close to give them more than enough credit for it. Now looking to catch up to the #1 spot, they boosted themselves all the way to this top, and we take a look at the crates, and people really aren't liking the 8 times.
Huh? What is it with the 8 time? I'm the type of guy who snatches up an 8 time instantaneously. But then again, I never hit my shots, so I think that speaks volume about the character that I am. Maybe, but anyways, ANW close by to the 1453s. As we can see, Miskin slowly creeping up, just trying to see what information we get. Centralized zone, I'm not miffed by that. A few teams will be miffed, but a lot of the teams were centralized anyway.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we don't see the center of the circle contested much. Now, while teams such as Mangoes and others are shooting at each other, can we shout out to our observer? Yeah, I was going to say, shout out to the observer.
Yeah. What are we naming the crow? We can't not see the crow and not give it a name. Russell, done.
Russell, that's a good one.
Russell Crowe, Scarecrow. Yep, you're welcome. I'm here all day for the very terrible jokes. That is. That is
unbelievable. Who invited this guy?
I guess Plausible technically invited me. I don't know if that was their best decision, but anyways. Not a lot happening right now. A lot of teams just trying to square up, understand their rotation. They've got a lot of time to play with, and especially the ones like AMW who are situated on the edge of this zone. They're just making sure no one's going to flank them from the rear. But how about Iniox? Getting a little bullet heavy, as that's going to be a great way to kick things off.
Ooh, already hot and handy. There we go, Iniox starting to play a bit more to how we would expect him. Another one peeking, and there will be not a second victory. The ammo capacity slowly running out, and all of a sudden there's going to be some bloodshed on the kill field. 1453, early a victim, now victimizing, and all of a sudden we've lost about 9 players around it just in an instant.
Yeah, Phoenix not going to do very, very well. Gets annihilated by Iniox, and in doing so, Iniox getting a 4-kill advantage, closing the door. Excuse me, closing the door to the 55 esports squad. However, we've got another stalemate here. Maestros, and I believe that is the Dragons as well down south. Oh no, it's full rush.
Oh. Mira here is definitely going to be one of those interesting contenders, as well as 1453. So is mine, so it is. It's going to be Mira one to claim it. A second down, beautiful shot. Didn't even imagine they were able to spot him. And 1453 Esport has been eliminated. Mira with a great one. Just like that. I mean, they're already looking golden.
Well, while we have a little bit of chill and peace time, we're going to be giving away yet another code to drop for those listeners, as Maestro will be able to get a beautiful Car 98 snipe going in. We're going to hold fire on that code, see that flush come through as the aggression starts to push in. Maestro just on the outside, as very quickly full rush will get annihilated. But back to that code. Bob, what's the code?
What is the code? It is Loot Drop Loyalist. That will be spelled out LOOTDROP LOYLAALIST. I'm bad with spelling. That's why I never entered the spelling bee. You know, I'd get instantly kicked out. But in the end, it's Loot Drop Loyalist. It's also going to be in chat, so make sure to claim it, because right now, again, it's that secret code for your big bucks, PUBG bucks.
Oh, Yang, not going to be in contention of a zone. Book Sansa. I'm probably butchering every name that this place is, and please do not at me because I'm dyslexic. It's all not going to be in play. These big compounds are not going to be in play. We're going to have a lot of field activity like before, so be like those good old scouts, all right? And remember the scouts code.
Yeah. Exactly.
Do you remember the Scouts code?
Absolutely not.
On my honor, promise to do my best, to do my duty to God and the Queen, to help other people, to keep the Scout law. That was the British one, but of course, Queen's gone. Replace it for King, or if you're not religious, don't put the God. Yeah.
There we go. Okay, now we have that out of the way. And while there's some chaos on desk, there's more chaos to talk about here in PUBG. For the Mangoes, or for the Mangoes. I always imagined it was going to be for the Mangoes, but I guess it's for the Mangoes right now, sticking together. They seem like brothers in arms, just trying to play it really close and tight, although that always ends up going astray once grenades become a usage.
Yeah, a good landed grenade might help them indeed, but an emergency drop, and you can see that Daddy did spot and see it, and no, not in that weird way, Daddy. It is this guy right here. They have ideas, they have knowledge that 31 is in that general vicinity. You just don't want to be the one to shoot your own weapon to give it away as well.
Let's see, Maestros. They've always been the perpetrator of these early fights. I feel like Maestros have been also constantly picking fights that they don't end up winning, especially in the earlier stages most. Now, while we've seen a lot of Maestros, it's very short bursts of vision because they always end up losing. Now, this time around, I'm imagining it's going to be a change, and there comes one shot. A couple looking to take out the glider. It seems to be on fire, but the player is still living.
Yeah, just blow it up. You don't want to be giving away too much information. And talking of information, why don't we take down one of the 55 Esports Mirror? Sorry, 31 Gaming, getting aggressive onto them. And critically, the other three start to push in. And I don't know if you want to poke that hornet's nest, because they come out full force, and 33 will want to punish after a shot's been put through.
Ooh. Here we go, 31G. Let's see what you've got under your sleeve. A bit of damage there, a single bullet. Definitely going to be alerting the guards. Well, 55, one of the down, not looking the best, but in the meanwhile, trying to reset that HP and get yourself back on feet. I imagine that's going to be the first ticket you want to book, but currently, 31 are closing in by the minute.
Hot 90s found a random Iniox player just out in the open, but there's a lot of down players here, and the Hot 90s will be wanting to claim just a little bit of extra points here. They're down low in this game. Matter of fact, they're situated. I've lost them on the leaderboard. Where have they gone? They're down in 10th, so they need some good kills and some good placement points to bring them back in the game.
90s smoking it all the way through. There's an A to be chucked. 55 Esports still fighting against Mangoes, but it's not going to be a one-sided battle. It's one for I, an eye for an eye, and currently one down for the other. Although chucking nades, that's huge. It doesn't find a kill, but maybe value on that damage. Spook's coming about for another set of vengeance as Tiny, you're completely locked in. He gets one. Does he go for the finish? No, rather the 8 kit. Hopefully he doesn't get closed in by then.
Yeah, Eagles just on the edge as well as they start to push into the pointers. More and more players as Miro's also here as well. It's a cluster of players. The Eagles are going to find the players of Miro, take them out. But 55 just on the edge. Might want to capitalize a little bit more as Frank will find another. Starts to play him around the outside. Eagles looking very low as they're starting to lose players. Fake still alive, but just inside the other side of the corner will be the Eagles as Mira is eliminated. 55 still in that vicinity, can play off it. Tyne 7 left alive. Originally was part of Typhoon. I remember this player because he can dip and dive and keep the team alive. But he has to take a break. The calm that comes through after the wild firefight. And Tyne might need to be changing his underwear from brown back to white.
I'm starting to get that impression for myself too, as that might have been one of the largest team fights we have yet to experience today. There were major names, and it's gonna keep on going. It was a bit of a break, a stalemate for a moment, but now we're back in action as Delulu are looking for blood and let it be known that these nades are not to be missed. The final 2 falling victim to explosion, shrapnel alike, and that's another team for elimination. Only 11 to remain, 26 for the players, and all of a sudden 55 Esports only with Tiny to remain.
High sense, they got one player just looking onto the edge of this, but more critically is going to be the zone movement. Eagles, one's just getting that information, playing for any scrap, one playing for that central zone. This split, especially this late in the game, I feel could be it could be detrimental. I don't feel it's going to be favorable for this Eagles squad, but at this point in time, you have to play a few risks to see if it plays off.
Ooh, there's some bullets. Well, the Mangoes get a double down. Flames gets burnt to a crisp. Maglo's still waiting for his destiny to arrive. And Bakerino being the real writer of the story as Delulu are bringing on more and more. They have had enough up until this point and want to be the leading name as now they have taken out 2 of the leading players from Eniox. And looking to probably even further up on the aggression as a single spray takes out 55 Esports, the final player Tiny, and in the meanwhile 3 from Eniox. And the last one as well, the entire team has been wiped, and that's 2 in a matter of seconds.
That's huge. We got rid of the second place team. But those mortars aren't going to help as well, as you can start to see the struggle as all that firefight from 31 Gaming, from the Eagles, from the Mangoes, they're low on utility, they're low on health, they're low on bullets, they're low on everything. So now they're having to scrap for bodies, scrap for resources. But when they push out, more critically, they're out in the open. And this is where the Eagles have played themselves right. They haven't been in any firefights. They can pick up the scraps here. They can pick up 3 kills, because I don't think Equi will spot that Eagles player who's slowly pushing up, who's slowly going to get that information and say thank you very much.
What? 2 teams again? Just out of nowhere, Storm is going to be claiming more. And Maestros, who have been struggling to get up to that top spot, now with 4 kills and looking to be really promising. All 4 players alive as well. Balkan are still upkeeping the possession with some of their own and taking out the regression onto Maestros, who are now falling victim with their first down of the game, I believe.
Maestro's been the strongest squad for this game. They've been able to keep their full squad, not over-aggress, not play anything too silly. And in doing so, that's why they have a full team. Okay, Hazir is down at the moment, but it won't be too long as they are able to get the res to come through. They're the team with the most amount of players, and this will help them come the Final Four if they get to the Final Four.
Oh, let's see it. MW is going to be finding Jambo. Unfortunate turn of events for Delulu, who have been such on a high streak when it comes down to kills alike. But currently, going to have to leave him for the dead. Just to save your own skin and potentially bring it back. But Ager is sticking around his comrade, not letting him go down so easily. But he's about to bleed out, and that will be the first to fall for Delulu.
Yeah, Delulu won't be too disappointed losing 1. They know they have an advantage here. They know there's hope they can play off. Maestro, though, full health, full team, but map position might... They've got that north side, they've got the start of the hill, so that's going to favor them. However, the Eagles are constant and aggressive. I'm talking about aggression. How about AMW able to get that flush to come through, and as well to have a full squad? AMW, hit and miss, mid-tier team, keep getting some good kills, just struggle to make placements.
Okay, AMW. Although they haven't gotten the most of kills, is that about to change any moment? Delulu fighting for their very lives, but the third party about to be immaculate. This is a 5-course meal as Delulu have been eliminated. And this is the streak that AMW have been waiting so gracefully upon. Coming in to snoop in a couple, 5 teams to remain, and the next one to be eliminated will be revealing the Final Four.
Absolutely. High sense, 1 player left, just trying to crawl their way through. And in doing so, all teams slowly push in. It looks to be this final zone is all on 1 hill, so position your cars well, have some good hard cover to help out. And if you're AMW, take advantage of this beautiful crate that is so perfectly put in front of them. That's a lot of loot and a lot of power weapons. The Lynx is in play. Remember, Lynx, 1 shot, 1 knock.
Mind, and there we go. Early shots. Really making them a bit more terrifying by the more we hear. and AMW here. Again, these are the teams that have been constantly underdogs. Just numbers for the upper leaders coming into the very top spots. One of Dragons will be downed. And in the meanwhile, AMW seem to be surrounded by the side of Balkan Eagles, who do still have 2 to put up off of an effort. For more shots as Dragons get eliminated, and these will be your top 4 contenders.
Eagles been playing it safe in the sense of they've made it a little bit of aggression, went for those scrap kills, able to stay with 2, but the real aggression is that's pretty aggressive. Stay able to get the knock, and in doing so, taking one of the players out from further away. Can we find a second? No, we can't. This is a very high octane opportunity for Hisense to claim an additional point, but now Hisense has given their position away. It's going to be the last of them. Last of Stay. Unless they back away. They're not pushing him. I'm surprised.
Huh. Interesting. Guess they don't want to get tangled up in some other team's business. Possibly.
They also know zone. Look at the zone as well.
Well, that's going to be rough. Oh, that's going to be bad for some teams. And we do have AMW, 4 players alive. They've been really religious with keeping every single one on track, hard beaten. Maestro's, maybe that 1 loss isn't too much, but it also counts down by 1 when it comes to Falcons. Speaking of that 1, that's all that Hisense really have to offer. And speaking of the devil, Maestro's core boss puts an end to the side of Hisense.
Goodbye to Hisense, able to get 1 extra kill. Gonna massively help them as they are really low. They're down 2nd to last. So placement points and also a kill to add on. They're going to jump up this leaderboard very nicely. Meanwhile, AMW's member is going to find 1, able to bring a knockdown, and Maestro's reign is slowly coming to an end, and it all looks strong for AMW. But we can't roll out this Eagle squad. You know what they did last time to a 4-stack team.
Ooh. Spooks here. Absolute beast. Peeks out quickly, finds the damage, and the finish upon Contura. All of a sudden, Noble counts. They're looking to come out with another spot like they did earlier. From a 4v2, they found a 1v1, and they need to play against AMV, who definitely have been quite threatening this time around. The job is finished. The Maestros are still fighting back, laying on the ground. That's a finish by Spooks, who yet again is delivering fantastic kills. Already on that 4 kill, which is impressive on a single player. Earlier, even counting up those double digits almost. But now, AMW have to face a very terrifying duo.
AMW are going to take advantage of an aggressive squad. Spooks, what are you doing? Ooh. Okay, Spooks has gotten it back in. It's okay, it's okay. But Spooks, AMW have pushed up aggressively. They know they're trying to capitalize on a very weakened Eagle squad. And in doing so, their whole team is coming. They're not wasting time. And now all you can do if you're Spooks and your co of Rafa and the Eagles, you have to stay alive. You have to take them 1 by 1 and hope they push you 1 by 1. Which, to kick things off, not gonna happen. It's done and dusted. AWM, they take a win.
All right, that's a different outcome than expected. That's what we'd love to see from Tango.